We are at the top of the food chain. It's nothing and nobody that can stop us. Y'all outcompeted yourselves. It's like a 20-to-1 ratio in some cities of women to men, available women to available men. At any point, he will always be at the top of the food chain, and his trajectory is so fucking high. His ceiling went higher. The more that y'all advocated against us, the higher our ceiling went when you on your grind. That's why I tell guys all the time, what the fuck you worried about what she talking about for? Why do you care about what it is that she's talking about? All you got to do is focus on becoming the best version of you. You have your pick of the litter. Listen, you know what success is from a financial perspective, and then I'm gonna relate it back to relationships, and then I'm gonna get y'all. I know y'all want to come up on the panel. I'm gonna drop the link in the description, so on and so forth. Right? Do you know what success is? Success is literally this. This is the definition of success. Relatively, because you can add the context in. But from a financial perspective, when you get to the point, and it's wealth, it's literally a wealth mindset. When you get to the point in your life where you have the option to do whatever you want to do when you want to do it, even if you choose not to go down that particular path, that's success. See, when I was in high school, my assistant principal said success is when preparation meets opportunity. But she hadn't got to the levels that I've gotten to now in my life. She was trying to teach us the level of discipline that we needed to have in order to take advantage of the opportunities. And then she said that was the outcome of what success would be. But it's not. It's another level. It's a wealth mindset that then translates into everything that you do from a financial perspective to relationships to networking, even spirituality. Success, once you get to a certain level, is not meeting any expectation that somebody has for you, is being able to do what the fuck you want to do when you want to do it. It's having the option to be able to buy the car and then choosing not to if you don't want to, or being able to do it without it affecting you in any way, shape, or form. That's success. And so when you start to translate that into relationships, this is why I always say that you have to be selfish before you can be selfless. Because when you then become interdependent on what somebody else is telling you in order to make a decision, you're under duress. But when you have the option to do what you want to do when you want to do it, when you choose to be philanthropic, when you choose to give away money, when you choose to go and do whatever it is that you want to do when you want to do it, and it just so happens to be beneficial for the people that surround you or beneficial to somebody that you choose to help based off of the fact that it's not going to affect you either way, that is a wealth mindset. That is the definition of success. When you start to evaluate your options and you choose the option that's best for you based off of the math or the circumstances or where it is that you project yourself to be 5 or 10 years from now, that is success. So when I tell fellas, divest yourself from this trash ass culture that is now being defined by what it is that women determine that we're going to go down. When you remove yourself from it and you so focus on becoming you, once you wake up and you open up your eyes and you realize you have everything at your disposal, you are in heaven. You are literally in an oasis because you can do what you want to do and nobody can tell you what the fuck to do at any point, at any time. It's all on you. So now the women realize that the men that are in a position of power don't give a fuck about who the president is because we're not affected by whether or not they're going to cancel student loans or not. We're not affected by what everybody else is running into the Victim Olympics. We don't give a fuck about whether or not reparations coming out. You know why? Because we gonna win no matter what. We gonna win no matter what. So the man that you want versus the man that you settle for has options to do what the fuck he want, and he will not subject himself to you because you are not coming to the front of the congregation with your mind right, with your body right, with your soul right, and then you are not holding yourself accountable. And so as a result, we leave you out there to get your ass kicked by the people that you advocating for us to join in a conversation with you. But we don't. Why? We have no vested interest in doing it. I'm unaffected. That's the beauty of being a winning man. Let's just use the term high value man for the sake of conversation. What do I benefit from it? Why do you think that conversation of what you bring to the table is so important? We're not using it as an opportunity to be able to beat your ass. We using it to help you to understand that your value is inherently tied to us. And so when you walked away from us, you did the thing that wasn't in your own best interest. Your success was largely tied to us because as we age, we get better with age. The winning men, the men that listen to us, the men that choose to take the advice and then heed it and then execute on it. You listen. The only people that think that the world is going to hell in a handbasket is the people that's subjected to whatever it is that happens in society. Your fate is largely tied to whether or not they're going to turn student loans back on in September. I don't give a fuck. I'm not affected by it. I'm going to get richer no matter what. You always going to pay more taxes than me. You always going to have a tougher time in life than me. You always going to be subjected to whatever it is politician promises you this or that, and that's going to affect what your voting patterns are. I'm going to vote based off of the policies that I think is going to affect the next generation because I'm in a position of power. That's what success is. And so when you then have conversations with women that saying, who's going to protect us? I'm going to look at you objectively and say, okay, well, what is in it for me? Because that's what good businessmen do. What's in it for me? Why should I listen to you at all? Why should I take what you're saying into consideration? Why should that be a thing for me? What for what? What you going to give me? What you going to offer to me? Let's go down the path. What can you possibly offer to me that would be any more valuable or that I could utilize as a resource or as an asset? Assets are things that usually have some inherent value tied to it. And I usually like to have appreciating assets instead of depreciating assets. So your pussy is really a depreciating asset. As you get older, your ability to even be able to have a child is diminished every single year, which means that it's even more of a depreciation. Think about this shit for a second. Let's look at everything from a business perspective the same way that they do. Even if they don't know that they're looking at it from a business perspective, the fact that they're hypergamous and they want the best available option says that they're looking at everything from a business perspective. Their idea is not to do it based off of love. It's not to do it based off of whether or not you really care for them. Not to do anything. Love comes along with it, but you want provision and protection at the high end of your list of the things that you're requiring as far as whether or not you want to marry this guy or not, right? Whether or not you want to get in a relationship with him now, right? Now that you've learned and you've slutted it out and you went to these indoctrination camps called college and you've been fucked on by every single person and you got a train ran on you, now you want to have a conversation about what type of man you want. Cool. It's cool for you to be able to have preferences. I invite you to have preferences. Everybody should have a preference of what they want. It doesn't necessarily mean you're going to get it, but everybody should have a preference of what they want. But the other side of the equation is that you're dealing with a whole nother human. Not just a whole nother human, but a motherfucker that's winning.